We have all had times when rage surges up inside of us like a raging fire. Our thoughts and destroys any feeling of tranquility. Rage not only damages other people, but also ruins us from the inside out, causing us to lose control, deprive us of happiness and calm. But have you ever pondered whether there's a method to totally control your rage so that it no longer has the ideology of Stoicism, contains the ability to control your life? Timeless ideas that might assist us in managing and even getting rid of anger from. In our lives, Stoicism is not only a way of thinking, but also the secret to inner serenity, which teaches us how to deal with any challenges in a composed. And in this video, I'll impart some wisdom and teach you important lessons. Lessons in philosophy that will help you never have to deal with rage. Listen once again, and only when you fully comprehend will you be able to appreciate the strength of Stoicism. How your emotions and thoughts work, can you control them? And trust me, after understanding these ideas will make rage less manageable. First of all, anger is destructive. It's like a roaring fire once anger's destructive nature. When it ignites, it not only destroys, but also burns everything nearby. Connections, but also severely damages the soul of the individual who carries it. People who are enraged frequently feel entitled, although they are unaware of this. Horace, a Roman poet, reportedly remarked that rage is a brief form of madness that leads to the most detrimental feelings, and decisions made in anger cause us to lose our sense of reason and become blinded. Frequently results in lasting regret. Consider if you have ever felt content. Do you feel like your soul is heavy when the anger has passed, or the opposite? In the heat of the moment, we could be overcome with regret and despair. Speak out against family members harming them for unimportant issues, and we discover that everything might have been settled amicably if we had only not let our rage too. In Stoic philosophy, emotions take over, and rage is not an picus, an internal enemy, told us that it's not the things that disturb us, not the outward one. Although he cannot fully control the world, we may influence it with our opinions. The way we choose to view situations will determine how we respond to them. Decide whether we stay free in the peace or become slaves to our rage. Our mental rage has detrimental effects on our physical and mental well-being. Repercussions. Numerous medical studies have demonstrated that people who regularly harbor anger are more likely to suffer from cardiovascular chronic stress and high blood pressure, are two obvious examples of disorders that occur in daily life. When we lose our temper, our heart accelerates, and our breathing gets labored, and our bodies experience severe stress. Is it really worth abandoning anger? Our long-term well-being and contentment through the principles of Stoicism and Jesus Christ taught us to be tolerant and forgiving. He once remarked, "If someone turns to face you after slapping you on the right cheek, this is not a sign of weakness, but the pinnacle of emotional regulation, selecting forgiveness, and it is not in the best interests of others to remain composed in the face of insults or injury." However, in order to shield ourselves from the damage that anger does, when we extend forgiveness, we not only liberate ourselves from the bonds of hatred as well as others. Think for a moment. Does your rage actually result in anything positive, or is it a double-edged blade that hurts you and everyone around you, rather than allowing you can learn to control your wrath? The keys to this are serenity, patience, and charity. Way to true freedom, which has already been outlined for us by Stoic philosophy, introspection. In Stoic philosophy, self-reflection ranks second. The key to finding calm and controlling emotions is self-reflection. In particular, rage self-reflection is more than just examining oneself. It's a deep process of investigating the mind, looking at ideas and assessing one's behavior by honestly facing oneself at every moment and not avoiding it, we can liberate ourselves from unpleasant feelings, therefore creating a strong basis for self-reflection and inner tranquility are similar to gazing into a mirror, except instead of, when confronted with rage, we look closely at the soul by studying appearances. The first thing we should do is stop and consider why we are furious. Originating from an actual injustice, or is it merely my ego's response to these asking questions forces us to face the truth and helps us recover from our raging anger? Self-reflection enables us to understand that anger does not make us more resilient, merely impairs our judgment, driving us farther away from tranquility. Consider have you ever been upset when someone mistreated or injured you in a scenario in your life? Naturally, your first instinct would be anger, but if you could, take a moment to consider how this truly affects me and whether there is anything I can do about it. Scenario: we frequently discover after contemplation that what enraged us isn't worth allowing our feelings to be so strongly influenced in the contemporary society. With life moving at an accelerated rate, self-reflection is equally crucial. Social and professional demands can quickly cause us to feel stressed and exhausted. Rapid rage, but make an effort to take a few minutes every day to reflect on how you did. I act in a certain way now. What might I do better tomorrow? This habit benefits us both. Regulate our feelings while also fostering the growth of a solid and tranquil daily thoughts of numerous prosperous individuals like Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates. Self-evaluation and self-reflection have developed into crucial routines that support them. Rage is a normal human response, but it can only be used to attain balance in life. Be defeated once we comprehend it completely. Self-reflection is the key to determining the more fundamental reasons behind bad feelings, enabling us to let go and know. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always have my undying love." Own the choice to remain impartial. There's never a need to become upset or to obsess about matters beyond your control. Constantly remind yourself of the worth of inner tranquility, after which we will never allow rage to rule our lives. Once more, are you prepared to pause and consider what caused your anger? Please feel free to express your thoughts on today and how you may use it to become calmer tomorrow. Your narrative and observations in the third comment section, utilizing making use of mindfulness. Have you ever pondered why, in the midst of a hectic and demanding existence, we allow little moments to influence us and are quickly sucked into bad emotions like rage? When we lose our composure due to our full emotional state, this is where a key tenet of Stoic philosophy, mindfulness, shows promise as a potent cure. To assist us in regaining our composure and practicing mindfulness in the context of Stoicism is a condition of profound awareness rather than just a method of meditation. Of the here and now is about comprehending our thoughts, feelings, and the reasons behind them. According to the philosopher Epicurus, these feelings are eyes. It doesn't matter what occurs to you. What counts is how you respond to it. This highlights the emotions of anger and anxiety stem from our responses to outside events, rather than from those events themselves. We shall discover the way to inner peace if we are conscious and modify our responses. Imagine being on a crowded street when all of a sudden a car cuts you off. For many people, rage is a normal reaction, and they could yell or say anything unpleasant, but if you choose to be conscious rather than allowing anger to take charge, you would stop and see that the rage isn't actually coming from the other driver's behavior, but you can't actually alter it with your response. The only thing you can alter about the behavior of other drivers is your own response. Mindfulness helps us break we must ask questions in order to break the cycle of quick reactions and make room for control. For example, What is the reason for my anger? Is it necessary? Perhaps the driver's action wasn't meant for me, and how would I profit by being composed in the face of their inquiries? Assist you in escaping the emotional maelstrom and establishing the composure necessary to make informed. You can use mindfulness to make decisions in your day-to-day existence by just concentrating on your breathing, focusing on the here and now, and being completely conscious of the when you feel angry. Ask yourself if it's worth it and why you're allowing it to happen. My entire mental condition is consumed by this passion, and these inquiries not only bring you returning to the present while progressively eradicating the negative. One of the most well-known Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, once counseled, "When you are upset about something outside of yourself, it's not because of the thing itself, but rather how you perceive it. And you have the authority to withdraw at any time," which emphasizes one of the greatest essential Stoic philosophy lessons. Although we have no influence over the outside world, we can completely regulate our response to it when we engage in mindfulness exercises. We are gaining mental self-control to avoid becoming enmeshed in negative feelings such as anger. Mindfulness is not about completely eradicating feelings, but about being completely conscious of them and deciding to react sensibly once you learn to take a moment to think. When resist the need to give in to your feelings, you will discover not just your inner tranquility, but also cultivate a strong sense of self-control that enables you to life's obstacles. So will you choose awareness the next time you feel angry? To keep your number 4 embracing calm, accepting silence, stillness in contemporary life. It appears like stillness has become an alien idea that people are constantly busy due to the whirlwind of information work and never-ending pursuits. Forgetting that sometimes actual strength and looking for something to accomplish resides in silence, which is what Stoic philosophy promotes when one stops seeking stillness. That quiet is a profound inner state and capacity rather than just an outward sign of tranquility. To maintain self-control and mental concord, this is what we must understand and develop the capacity to accept: silence, which in this context refers not just to the intervals between occurrences in life, but also a deliberate decision to face oneself and one's thoughts by turning inside is distinct from seclusion. Enjoying quiet does not entail ignoring the outside world, but asking yourself how long it has helped you learn to live with it without allowing it to disturb your inner calm. How long have you been alive since you actually stopped and paid attention to yourself? Disregarding the cacophony and deluge of distracting information, we frequently overlook the fact that quiet enables us to hear the speech of our minds, us to acknowledge the things we overlook in our hectic life. Perhaps in quiet, you can discover the best answers to the issues you encounter, as demonstrated by a real-world example from modern meditation, is a technique that has been shown by science to have beneficial effects on the brain that enhance mental wellness and lessen stress. Instead of seeking answers right away, many meditate to restore equilibrium and clarity in quiet at that precise instant, when thoughts deviate from their typical course and when the mind is clear of distractions. Clarity can be found in quiet. And knowledge are innate. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes the significance of accepting quiet. When dealing with hardship in silence, teaches us not to respond rashly to challenges or criticism. Rather than thoughtfully, emotionally, we can pause, observe, and decide to take action. Consider carefully that you are dealing with a challenging issue in your life that conflicts with a coworker, family obligations, or personal difficulties. When you allow rage or anxiety to take charge, it's simple to lose control and make bad choices, but when you stop and think, everything becomes more apparent, and you understand that every As long as you let your mind relax and resist the need to give in to ephemeral feelings, every problem has a solution. Overpower your logic. Stillness is not only a kind of repose, but also a necessary component of personal development. In stillness, we develop self-awareness, emotional awareness, and silence is also when we learn to control our thoughts without allowing them to rule us. Gaining a deeper understanding of oneself enables us to modify our behavior and feelings more. When you embrace silence intelligently, you'll discover that outside influences no longer have an impact on. Before we go on to lesson number, you will find great serenity there as well. 5. We would want to express our gratitude for being with us during the middle of this video adventure at every turn. To develop and learn, as well as the fact that you are present to listen and think with us, is an amazing gift that I treasure every moment to enable us share these priceless lessons to even more individuals. Kindly click the like and share buttons. Each video shared is a modest but significant gesture, similar to the timeless lessons that Stoicism has to give. And remember lesson number, the following chapter has 5 waiting for you, so let's keep exploring. And together, we are embracing these timeless lessons. Thank you once more for your ongoing assistance. Is number 5 in cultivating developing thankfulness. Being thankful is a step toward achieving inner peace and emotional mastery. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on the idea that fostering thankfulness is not just a strategy for keeping one's head in check, but also a means of conquering rage and other unpleasant feelings. But why is thankfulness so crucial, and how can we cultivate it? Stoic philosophers believe that being grateful in our daily life is more than just to appreciate the positive aspects of life. One must accept everything that arrives in our path, whether it is one of joy or adversity. Marcus Aurelius. When you get up in the morning, think, according to one of the great Stoic philosophers, of how fortunate we are to be able to think, breathe, appreciate, and be alive. Love. This is not only a kind reminder, but a rule of thumb for how, when we approach life, we frequently fall into the trap of blaming and complaining. Stoic philosophy tells us that every situation, even when it doesn't go as planned, challenge is a chance to progress. What if you began each day? Genuine appreciation for what you currently have, instead of concentrating on what you still need to do. Have you ever taken the time to genuinely appreciate the little but priceless things in life, including your well-being, a comfortable home, or even just a basic meal supper, when we start focusing on what we currently have rather than what we need? Anger and other negative feelings progressively become less dominant in Stoic philosophy. Appreciation also conveys a deeper message. We must express gratitude for both the challenges and the positive things in life. Difficulties rather than becoming upset and fighting against fate when things don't work out our approach. We must learn to view obstacles as opportunities for learning. For instance, instead of becoming upset when someone mistreats you, express gratitude for. When you encounter failure at work, they teach you to be patient and forgiving. Give thanks for the worthwhile experience that will aid in your development and enhance. Moreover, thankfulness is more than simply sentiments. It's also expressed. One method to develop thankfulness via action is to keep a daily notebook about things you value, and this practice keeps you optimistic and avoid getting caught up in a resentful loop. One such example from modern life is the successful people who frequently disclose that they write first thing in the morning, listing 3 things for which they are thankful, since this exercise has assisted them in not only succeed, but also preserve harmony and contentment in your life. In conclusion, developing thankfulness is an essential life skill that is not merely a decision. We must learn to refocus our attention from pessimistic ideas to the positive parts of our current situation. Consider what actions you are performing taken for granted that you need to be thankful for, and when confronted with challenges, can you see them as chances for personal development instead of roadblocks? This is the genuine power of thankfulness, which not only promotes tranquility, but also aids in our mastery every facet of our feelings. Number 6. Having faith in nature. Having faith in the natural order. Have you ever pondered why some aspects of life appear to be beyond your control? Control. We frequently deal with unfavorable situations like losing a significant career, or splitting up with a loved one, or even facing significant life difficulties. But does anger, blame, and, according to Stoic philosophy, the answer is no, even if you fight these things. Rather, we are instructed to have faith in the universe's inherent order, which is beyond our control, can learn to embrace and accept. Let's look at another example. To demonstrate this, picture yourself on a lengthy journey when everything begins. Normally, as the plane enters, it starts to shake strongly. Passengers experiencing turbulence panic and cling to their seats out of terror. Some even getting upset with the workers for the trouble, but if we believe it's important to pay attention to how the weather or air conditions affect the aircraft, that nobody on board can influence, so rather than freaking out or losing our cool, we should decide to accept the circumstance and have faith in the crew's abilities, who have been taught to manage precisely. This type of situation teaches us to trust the natural order of some things, occur not because we acted improperly, but only because that is the way the world works. When we have faith in this, we not only lessen our rage, but also discover tranquility, similar to letting the plane fly. We can also handle life's ups and downs without losing our cool. Without being enraged, let's examine our everyday lives in more detail. Have you ever been in circumstances when it seemed like all of your hard work was in vain, or when things didn't go as planned? When things don't go our way, we frequently become easily enmeshed in negative feelings. However, consider whether anger might help you alter the circumstance, or does believing that everything occurs in accordance with by learning to respond. Larger order allows you to release the stress from your head. By remaining composed, we not only reduce our rage, but also find serenity. Like a pilot in a storm, the only thing to do inside is to stay composed, and Stoic idea of trusting their surroundings and their own control tells us that life is a continuous flow, and that we should not fight it. Recognize and trust what the cosmos has in store for us. When we have faith in the natural order, we can let go of our anger and come to a peaceful state in which we can handle any difficulties with composure, and we just looked at the importance of having faith in the natural system, components that promote achievement and individual development, which we would now like to present to you. The ability to forgive is another equally potent instrument. In the following section, let's continue to explore the enchanted power of forgiveness. Of the 7th video, the strength of the ability to forgive. Although it is a wonderful deed, forgiveness is often very challenging. According to Stoic philosophy, forgiving is a great strength that not only mending our interpersonal connections, but also releasing ourselves from the confines of, according to hating Stoicism, forgiving is a virtue rather than a sign of weakness. Evidence of emotional control and inner strength. So why is forgiving so significant, and why does it have the ability to alter our daily lives? Frequently come across circumstances that hurt us, such as a friend's betrayal. When there are miscommunications in a relationship or even injustices at work, our common response is to cling to bitterness and contempt in the hopes that they will shield us from additional pain. But does rage actually shield us, or does it turn into a burden that keeps us from achieving inner peace and weighs us down? When we harbor hatred, we only make our minds heavier and impair our capacity for clear thought. Forgiveness not only relieves emotional strain, but also aids in re-establishing equilibrium in forgiveness. In the context of Stoicism, is an action that results from one illustration of the strength of compassion and understanding that comes from strength rather than fear. The tale of former Olympic athlete Louis Zamperini demonstrates forgiveness. After his plane was shot down over the Pacific during World War II, a soldier, after 47 days of surviving at sea, Ocean Zamperini was apprehended, and he suffered years of cruel treatment while incarcerated in military camps, especially from the prison guard, who was referred to as the Bird, persistently made Zamperini's life was challenging, requiring him to undergo emotional and physical. Zamperini returned to the US after the war in agony, bitterly resenting what happened occurred, and his rage plagued him for years, leading to personal and marital crises. But Zamperini's realization at a speech marked a turning point. That the secret to releasing oneself from the burdensome weight of he made the decision to forgive the police and others who had wronged him. Zamperini, the Bird, even planned to meet with those who had wronged him, to show his forgiveness in the camp, even if the officer never agreed to meet. What mattered was that Zamperini had achieved inner peace. "When I forgave him," he once commented, "forgiveness is the completion of hatred. I was at last free, but consider who gains the most from forgiveness. The individual we pardon, or are we really the best?" Self-forgiveness benefits us because it enables us to let release the weight of hatred and rage, and if you haven't already, find inner peace again. If you've ever felt the relief that comes from forgiving someone, you know how powerful this act is. It is a gift as well as an act toward other people. In the end, forgiveness in Stoic philosophy does not imply disregarding ourselves. Forgiveness is not about committing a transgression or losing sight of the lessons learned. Forgetting, but about making the decision to not let rage and hatred to rule our life. By deciding to forgive, we take complete control of our feelings and brains, and once we accomplish that, we discover genuine tranquility and calmness. Would you decide to forgive in order to break free from the bonds of will? You put the power of forgiveness above the weight of resentment. Keep in mind that forgiveness is a force that not only helps people find peace, but also the best present you can offer yourself is life, which frequently puts us in final result circumstances in which rage appears to be the most appropriate response, but by learning from Stoic philosophy helps us realize that anger only results in pain. Stoicism teaches us that remaining composed in the face of hardship is the secret to controlling our feelings and our life. When we are powerless over what occurs outside of our control, we have complete power over how we react. Keep in mind that you are winning each time you choose composure over rage. Every instance of self-acceptance and forgiveness is a step toward liberation, and when we fully understand and put this idea into practice, life becomes tranquil, lighter, and with trust and a calm heart, any obstacle can be conquered. You won't ever have to be furious again after you realize the value of Stoic philosophy. You'll come to me living with composure, self-assurance, and empathy, the precise traits that will bring you genuine delight and unwavering peace. If you liked this video, kindly provide a 1-star rating to inform us. If not, provide a 0-star rating so that we can enhance and make this stuff even more beneficial to you.